Just like the feds sent advisors into Illinois and to the state, and they all went down last year in that case where the guy filmed cops towing his cars away and stuff, Mr. Allison, and they actually put briefs in and said, we want him to serve life in prison, yes. And the judge went, you know what, I'm going to dismiss this. But if he wouldn't have dismissed it, that state jury, that they think it's good to put somebody in prison. They go in there and they get off on it, and the cops come in and pat it, and the prosecutor pats them on the head, and they go, who do we screw up in prison? And they're like, don't worry, we're going to put some innocent people in there. And they all get real excited. You think I'm joking? I remember when a listener called me, and we're going to Mr. Notehouse, then your calls, Kelly Rushing in Lyon County, Kentucky. This is about 8 years ago now. And he said, Mr. Jones, I'll send you the newspaper clipping. I'm facing 3 counts, 3 years apiece of terroristic threats. I gave a state police officer road to tyranny. They're charging me for that, but also the Ron Paul speech on there. I put that on. I'm charged with both. And so he faxed me and then mailed me the newspaper, and I saw the judge. So I called the judge at home. Back then I was naive 8 years ago. I thought, come on. So I get the judge on the phone, and I go, well, I'm not going to get too much into the case, but the newspaper, you're actually not mistrialing somebody facing 9 years in jail for giving a cop a video? And he said, I'm not going to talk to you about it, but yes, it's going to court. So then they had the hearing, and the cop comes in and says, he gave me that video, and it's anti-government. And the judge says, we find that threatening. You will convict, and the jury didn't. And it was in the news. But they actually wanted to put him in jail for going, officer. In fact, the cop even testified, this is important for your future and your family's future. And they said that was a threat, mentioning family. But yes, and they all sat there with a straight face. I mean, these are kook, cult, demons, hardcore evil. I mean, these people are flaming scum. I mean, just wild, crazy, dangerous people. Just like the Nazis, the Soviets, all of them. Pol Pot killing 31% of Cambodia, murdering anybody that could read or write or wear glasses. You're like, why'd he do that? Because he's a flaming loon. They like it. You like water skiing, enchiladas, hanging out with your family, mountain biking. They like black uniforms and torturing children. They do it all over the world. Mayor Bloomberg remixes al-Qaeda video to push gun control effort. We told you that'd be the new, over a year ago, the new thing that al-Qaeda's going to attack grocery stores, shopping malls. We got to have telescreens saying spy. Got to have TSA everywhere. The terrorists, they're everywhere. But in every major case, the government is behind it. When they don't purely carry out the attack, they get lunatic morons on the planes, in the buildings, cook the bombs for them. It's all on record. But they're counting on you not paying attention. The criminal class has a plan. It's blow stuff up and take your rights in the name of protecting you. How do we break their will? We fondle their daughters and wives. We break the back of the American mail. We already put bisphenol A in all their products so that they become effeminate. And we have a plan for you. And it gives the women breast cancer, even better for the New World Order. Look at them. They're so chemically poisoned they can't even get upset. They're mesmerized. It's all ours. Steal everything. Here's the plan. We steal trillions from them. And then when they give us the money, then we charge them interest on it. There's nothing these scum won't take. And that's their attitude. That's their view of you. So much fun. And again, all of you that serve the system, keep drinking the fluoride water. Take all the vaccines. Oh, drink out of the bisphenol A plastic. Just trust government. Do whatever it says. You are going to enjoy what you're helping. You think you're going to judge us and feed on us, you're going to be even more destroyed by your own system. And now you don't have to wait very long. The evil's growing. It's coming. What you asked for is now at the door, scratching. So open the door and prepare to meet your destiny. Because you're cowards. I'm not a coward. I know what it is. I face it. I resist it, but you that decide to serve it will now get what you want. Don't worry, everything you want will now be released upon you. All the soft kill, all the pain, the reactors blowing up, the fires, the earthquakes, the wars, the death, the pain, the humiliation. You want the abortions? You want the end of men? You want the end of families? All of it will now be yours. All of it. It's all just coming. Decades of it. Waiting and built. All your humiliation. All your pain. All of it's yours now. Enjoy it. Watch your sitcoms. Be weak. Be servile. Hell is coming. Oh, man, I tell you. Like a caged beast. I see it all around me. It's clear as day. History is clear. Common sense is clear. And to hear the news, now I hear it all in the news. If you have an opinion on what color to paint your house, it's a conspiracy theory. People that are concerned about the fires all over Los Alamos and all the radiation being released by the fires, they're being called conspiracy theorists. I just looked it up. Having any opinion, you do what you're told by scumbag government owned by foreign banks. You give them everything. You pay them all the carbon taxes. You roll over and die, and you will serve them, and you will love it, and you will enjoy it, and you will beg for it, because it's our destiny. For the 50 million abortions and all the rest of the evil, the judgment of the West is here. The judgment of the world is here. It's only going to intensify. You conjured it. You want it. You want to live in denial. You're going to get it now. All right, I'm really angry about the TSA, as you can tell. And I want to break you out of your trance. It's not too late to turn this around, folks. But the future is coming. We're living in the present that was the future to come. Believe me. I can see it. It's there. A blind man could see this. A deaf man could see it. Somebody with their eyes gouged out, drugged behind a truck could see it. All right, I got to settle down. Just everything is a lie. You hear the news. It's like Greece is rioting because they have to pay their bills. Goldman Sachs put the president in, put the prime minister in. Not a president, prime minister. They put the finance minister in and openly, publicly had them sign on to fraudulent derivatives. They put their criminals in, loot the country, and then they take our tax money to give to the private banks and then say that the Greeks have to pay them back in perpetuity. And they've done all the calculations in Greece that they'll never get out of this, and it's designed to bankrupt them. And they're even cutting the cops' pay and everything, but still the cops just go out and defend the criminals because they're wearing suits and just run up to women and children and just, yeah, with a club. Yeah, just, yeah, blood. Oh, we love it. Cops dress up like anarchists, burn hotels because they got that uniform and they were hired because they wanted to be on a power trip just like the Nazis and the Soviets and everybody else, and they're going to deliver you straight to hell. And now they're getting ready to gobble up the rest of Europe and the United States and just trillions to criminal bankers every month. More, 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 more. Always more, more, more. They've got an whole actuary set up, a whole phased-in, compartmentalized system to destroy all of society in post-industrial world and bankrupt you and have CPS grab your kids. Just absolute hell being released upon us. If you don't call Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia, Maoist China, Pol Pot's Cambodia, Fidel Castro's Cuba, all of the historical nightmares, Vlad the Impaler, the list goes on and on, all the nightmare that Mexico is, totally collapsing, all the evils, Kim Jong-il in North Korea, getting rid of universities for 10 months, putting even their ruling class minions out in the fields to work as the whole society collapses. CPS take the children at birth, train them in government schools, total hell, same model they want for us here, smiling little demonic gibbering creatures, third generation scumbag royalty. That's all the Queen of England is generations that have survived longer than this guy. 3 generations of hereditary corruption. Okay, this is a rant. I got to stop. Because the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have miles to go before I sleep. I got a lot of work to do today after the show. I got to finish. The studio's done. I got to finish developing the TV show and how we want to do it. I got to finish making all the calls and this and the everything else, and I got so much to do, and I'm not complaining. It's just, my God, we got to turn this around. My God, we got to wake up. Get me out of here. We don't need to repeat this. Please, people. Do you have any idea how much danger we're in? Do you have any historical idea? This is the most sickening tyranny I've ever studied that we're living in, and it's just getting rolling. It's just getting started. Do you know where this road leads? Do you have any idea the humiliation, the pain, the war, the revolution? They've got that whole plan, the insurrection against this. They're going to use that, call it terrorism, to bring in the foreign troops. It's so hellish. The millions of military and police that are going to die, it is going to make Iraq and other countries look like a joke. They plan it. They're not going to stop. They're going to start trying to stage terror attacks to blame them on domestic groups. And when they start trying to round people up, folks are going to break and not care anymore, and hell is going to be released. That's part of their plan as well. Do you understand how desperate this is? How real this is? The idiot TSA people, we now learn, are not as big an idiots as we were told. I want to go to your calls. They've been complaining for over 5 years. Scanners have been in for 8 in 5 airports, and they know they're dying of cancer, and the cancer rates are off the chart, and the government knows it and committed them to a death sentence, and now they're going in all the airports. That's who runs things, knowing it would kill you, knowing the dust it would kill you at WTC. Even when they did the CAT scans at major universities and showed their lungs were filled, the government called it a conspiracy theory. When we said Fukushima blew up and melted down, they called it a conspiracy theory. When we could see the reactor blow up and scientists got the isotope readings that only are created in massive atomic fission. It's 100% it happened. We were right again. They're now saying you're a conspiracy theorist if you're worried about Los Alamos blowing up. But don't worry, there's a new poll out by Quinnipiac University saying Hillary is the most popular person in America. And then, second after that is herpes, gonorrhea, and leeches, and cancer. She even beat out cancer as most popular. It's now number 5. I mean, I believe this poll. I believe cancer is the 5th most popular person in America. I mean, this poll. I mean, everybody loves Hillary Clinton. Everybody loves to turn their guns in. I mean, there's a mandate right now, a big mandate, that Republicans should not have any conservatism and turn their guns in and have totally open borders and government-financed abortion. And the Boy Scouts will all be taught for their first merit badge how to be gay. And then the second merit badge is how to report on your parents' firearms, and I'm not even joking about that. I mean, that's completely normal. That's conservative. And if conservatives want to be in the game, Karl Rove, American Crossroads, has said he agrees with the Democrats in this big hoax they're running. Well, okay, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Hillary is the most popular person in America. I mean, I believe that. I believe that like I believe jumping off a cliff would be fun, You guys believe that, don't you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Reuters is picking it up. My goodness, they had a poll at this university. What they do, go to like a communist studies class or something? Who's your favorite person? Oh, that'd be Hillary. You know what? I bet I could go to a Ku Klux Klan rally. You know what? I bet we should do this as a really sick parody. Actually find a real Klan rally. Well, last time I went to protest when they threatened to kill me and stuff, maybe it's not a good idea. Anyways, the point is, go to it and say, yeah, we conducted a poll at the Northwoods University. Just call it that and go, and here's the dean, the Grand Dragon, and here's all his other associates. Who's your favorite person in America? And they'll say, Adolf Hitler. We'll go, well, the university poll finds Adolf Hitler is the most popular person in America. Oh, my gosh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I'm sorry. I just want to apologize for talking bad about Hillary Clinton, the most popular person in America. According to a poll, Reuters is carrying it. Newsflash. Newsflash. The moon is made of cheese. There's no, look at that smile. Oh, my gosh, that woman makes me sick. Get her off the screen. Don't they ever go away? I've been hating this woman for 20-something years. Get out of my life, woman. Go back to hell where you crawled out of. Goodness. And stop feeding us such bull. Then you got it, and then I didn't use it. The Coney 2012 do a screening in your area video. Now, if you're a radio listener, and then I'm going to your calls, you cannot understand the magnitude. This is not the main Coney 2012 with hundreds of millions of views or whatever total. This is one of their promo ones before they launched it. This is all, again, government run. It's now coming out as we knew. I mean, I watched it and could tell it was government run. Now, it's adults who look like they're about 30 years old, acting like they're 5, talking to college students because it's a new thing. Not just being in a narcoleptic state or being cowardly or having a pot belly. I mean, the average trendy resembles a pedophile. It's like the style. Not only is that what's going on, chicken-necked weakness is like a god now. And being totally passive, being a huge jellyfish slacker who looks like a fried egg in a chair. That is the culture of this, okay? The worship of being destroyed. Literally, I've now discovered the secrets of it. And it's a cult everywhere. At South by Southwest, they're just hordes of these people. I mean, they look like adults in diapers or something, you know, just toddling along. I mean, spiritually, it's a, well, side issue. It's incredibly evil, though. Again, if you're a radio listener, in fact, what's the title of it? I forget. It's something like, did it have a Coney 2012 screening? Book a screening for Coney 2012. It's on YouTube. And if you're a radio listener, you'll just hear the voices. But if you're a TV viewer at prisonplanet.tv, they actually jump up and down and go, oh my gosh, so trendy, and we're gonna get Coney. And you can tell they're government operatives. They've got like evil in their eyes, you know, hardcore. I mean, their real spirit is, murder Africa, invasion force, release us. But on the surface, and just cutting this room full of, you know, trendies all swarming around like piranhas. But again, it's that cover of the armored warmock. It has this cover of I'm friendly, I'm nice, and it's going after the young people who are in a narcoleptic state, are attracted like moths to flame to someone going, war, trendy, invade, help the children, And I mean, and I'm like, and I started watching more of their videos, and it gets worse. I mean, I'm not joking, folks. I mean, and everyone's wearing like pink and little green, non-threatening, you know, colors. All, and this is what we face. So this is for college students, and this is what men look like now, on average. In fact, now I used to bash men that are all into being big and muscular with tattoos and black on and going, now I get it. You don't want to be like these people. Okay? 'Cause I used to get mad at guys trying to act tough. No, that's good. Do that. In fact, I think I'm going to just go all out with cut-off sleeves and drive a big, fast car and be like, rah! Because, I mean, I'm starting to get it. Men are running to that because they see the armies. At South by Southwest, you go down there, it's literally men in pastels, and part of the effeminate thing is they have these little wispy beards and, like, bandanas, and they're all walking around bending their wrists going, I mean, I don't know what it is. No, there's men everywhere wearing dresses. I'm telling you, it's like they're just like, New World Order, slaughter me, please. And the New World Order's like, act like a jellyfish coward and giggle at all reality. They're like, yes, yes. Anyways. But the controller level ones are just like, know what they're doing. Pentagon's like, how do we get the jellyfish into total war? Dance around and prance. You can see Black Ops guys are just sitting back, cold-blooded. This will work well on them. Good. Increase dosages in water immediately. Send out trendies to destroy them. There's nothing, I mean, there's nothing the trendies won't buy. Oh, my gosh, help me. I mean, folks, if you couldn't see this, I mean, this was prancing. Was it as bad as I said, guys? It was worse. And there's even, and now listen, Nemo just ran in here with stacks of articles. NATO, Australia, England, France, Northcom troops are being dispatched for AFRICOM. The invasion of Africa is beginning. Has nothing to do with Coney. It's about seizing land, fighting indigenous groups that are being forced off. Because it's all in the news, the UN's just in there gunning people down. But again, they've got guys prancing around going, liberal, and Angelina Jolie going, children. And again, that's the cover. Imagine the tank ramming the Branch Davidians going, this is not an assault. Please come out. We are your friends. They come out, they shoot them. It's the same thing. I mean, imagine a military that first deploys people hopping around in pink shirts going, It's a perfect deal. Like, oh, this isn't non-threatening. That's just like one of those fish. Guys, pull up the lanternfish. You know, it's at 2,000 feet and deeper, and it has that little lamp that looks like a tasty. No, a lamprey is one that attaches and is parasitic. It's a lanternfish, and it's got big giant teeth. But in the total darkness, there's a lot of little glowing crustaceans and things that fish eat. So you think you're getting a big, juicy, non-threatening little goblet, but really, it's the lantern hanging. And that's what Coney is. And it's like, it's trendy liberal, Angelina. I mean, that's what we're dealing with here. And I'm sick of it, and I'm calling you out, scum. I cannot stand these people. Did you find the lanternfish? Watch this. I'll show you. Lanternfish. Lanternfish. You can also Google Horrors of the Deep. I found it. Here it is. Boom. Just show lanternfish. The ultimate in trendiness. Oh, look, Coney 2012. Oh, look at the little Coney 2012, little glowing, and you can't see him right there. New World Order Rockefeller eugenics operation. In the dark, all you see is, Angelina Jolie, right out shining in the darkness. Looks like a little fishy sees that and says, I'll just swim over and eat that. The AFRICOM is coming. Loving, loving, loving. You can do it. Stop Coney. You know, Coney's like a little skeleton on the bottom. Hadn't been seen in forever. Little tiny nothing. But it's like, oh, we're gonna fight. Oh, and then there's a little, oh boy, I said I'd go to your phone calls and I'm out of control now, aren't I? There's an article I had here in the stack where a North Korean officer was murdered with mortar fire. That was the way he was killed. They tied him up and shot mortars at him. I have it here in the stack today because he was disrespectful and didn't cry enough when Kim Jong-il died, and he was observed. Can we pull up the Kim Jong-il crying, please? There was 3 days where you were supposed to stay out day and night and go, just type in North Koreans cried Kim Jong-il funeral. And there were a lot of people sent to re-education camps because they didn't cry enough. And that's why you go, well, how do people for 3 days cry? Well, you do it or you go to prison. I love the government built it. Kim Jong-il. We ought to come out with Kim Jong-il toilet paper just because I like to desecrate government pigs. New World Order trash. People think they're God. We did find my North Korea worship. Just type in Kim Jong-il supporters cry. It's on YouTube. It's a big hit. We actually even have a bit we did with it here, and then I'll go back to your calls. I need my Kim Jong-il. I just really, really need my Kim Jong-il. Just like North Koreans cry. That'll get it. North Koreans cry. Boom. Let's see if I can find it here. I even misspelled it. It's going to come up. Oh, I think YouTube's having problems. Doesn't even matter. Whatever. Doesn't exist. They never cried. Never happened. Just North Koreans cry at Kim Jong-il funeral. 3 days long. That's it. Boom. It'll come up. Oh, you have it? Can we punch it up, please? Because I need to worship total tyranny here. I mean, show the video, please. I love government. Government built it. Oh, I love you, government. Oh, you're God. Please give me vaccines. Oh, please, government. You made everything happen. I need you. Man, that's exhausting. Imagine 3 days of this, and it shows them like in big blocks marching. The citizens even know how to march because, you know, they have Obama phone. Obama, he going to do more. He gave me an Obama phone. Yeah, a 7-story pleasure palace and kidnap Asian film stars, rape and torture them. You're dead. You're the caricature of a little cowardly, evil, dictating scumbag, worm, tick, parasite, piece of trash, a communist murderer. We're now going to have your 20-year-old punk son run everything with his big pudgy weakness. I love this. I need you. I love this guy right here. Just, oh my God. How is it possible? All right, that's enough. Oh my God. Knowing the reality, knowing what we face gets your head screwed on straight real fast, and you stop being little boys. And I see men out there who are perpetually little boys. I see these men will cut you off in traffic and bulge their eyes out at you. But a cop pulls them over, they'll wet themselves. I see these men out there strutting around, sticking their chests out with a 12-pack of beer, walking out of a store. They think watching a ball game and acting tough is what a man does. A man is humble. A man takes care of his family. A man knows the environment that he lives in is informed. And a man is involved and understands history. That's what measured men in the past. Not how you could stick your chest out and festoon yourself with whatever the latest fashion is. And this country needs men to save it. You know, Chris Matthews gets up on television and says, the age of lying is here. Lying and is good, and that's how you're successful. That's how you get your woman. That's how you get your job. That's how you... No, that's not how. I don't want to be around a bunch of liars and a bunch of fakes and a bunch of frauds. And all these social climbers that do whatever they think and the groveling. I can't go to parties. I can't hardly be around people anymore because you get around these social climbers and they're so fake and they hate your guts and they're not real people. And they'll sit there and they'll look you in the eyes and you can just see how weak they are. I mean, I tell you, folks, you have fallen so far, but I know there are tens of millions of people in this country and hundreds of millions worldwide who are still human and who still know that the fraud of saying that what you act like is what you are and that some front. And then the establishment can say what is successful. The establishment can say what is important, and then you imitate it. I mean, I remember reading stuff written 80 years ago by the Department of War where they were hiring top psychiatrists on how to dumb down the public through the media and how to break up the family and get rid of the middle classes, all declassified and all public. And you see the, I mean, why do you think Fox Television, all these shows, and on every TV show, the man is weak, he's dumb, he's an idiot. The guy who gets all the girls is an idiot and can't talk and, you know, is a fool. And then young men watch that and imprint as mammals. We're meant to mimic those we see above us. And then they go act like that and can't ever get women, can't ever be successful. And so they think then, oh, I must act stupider. That will get me women. I mean, they understand our mammal activity, our basic behavior. And they just program you and manipulate you and laugh at you and write best-selling books about how they're going to destroy the country. And they're doing it right now. And you just giggle and look up with dim little eyes and say, no, there's no new world order. It doesn't exist. Everything is fine. We're going to come back and go right to your calls. Stay with us. I just walked down the hall to get a cup of coffee. And what did I see? Lewis Black, that's a fake name, by the way, a carpetbagger that came into Austin decades ago and set up the Austin Chronicle. And what's it got? A giant cover story about how we need to attack the Second Amendment. Bunch of anti-gun garbage I just scanned through in the last few minutes. The establishment's instinct to totally disarm us so they can have their way with us. Why don't you write articles, Black, about how governments killed over 200 million people last century? Why don't you write an article about how the international banking cartel financed 90% of that? Why don't you tell the truth instead of writing articles saying the toll road company isn't foreign? How dumb do you think your readers are? I'm just sick of lies. I'm sick of it! And I'm sick of you being mesmerized by things that don't matter so they can run these lies on you. I said I'd take calls, and the phones are loaded here. Let's go ahead and take a few here. Let's go ahead and talk to George. Well, he's not first here. Let's talk about let's talk to Kyle and Bastrop first, right around Central Texas. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. I totally agree with you what you're saying about the UT and everybody worshiping the athletes and everything. You know, I have friends. You know, we were watching a game the other day, and he was just knowing everything about Vince Young, and I'm like, hey, dude, hey, our dollar's been devalued and everything. He's like, oh, whatever, dude. Why do you pay attention to that? You know, I agree with you there. You know, it's so, you know, it's hard to deal with people sometimes about stuff.
And we don't eat beef on game day. That's bad luck for Bevo.
Oh, I mean, seriously, I see people, a lot of these kids, you know, that are, you know, going to ACC or local college or whatever, and they have no money, but they'll go and spend $300 for a ticket, and then, you know, they wonder why they have no money. You know, they're spending on Xbox 360 here.
Well, I mean, the credit card companies have the financial advisors at the school who they're paying, by the way. It's totally illegal, but they do it. You know, it's legalized criminality to tell them to get more credit cards. The whole thing is meant to rape people. And here's my point. People don't know about, you know, their family history. They don't know about, you know, anything. There's all these amazing things going on, but all they know about is issues that don't matter today, much less tomorrow. That's all I'm saying, is that people could be into sports and things, but it's that it is designed. It is given all of this attention to destroy. It is given all this attention to be a distraction from real issues.
Oh, I agree. You know, I work at a bank. You know, I see a lot of people who come through who don't even know how to fill out a deposit slip. You know, they don't know their account number. I mean, they don't. Here's
the deal. I used to go. I've been going to that Bob Bullock IMAX theater since it opened. 8, 9, 10 years ago. I've probably seen 10, 15 IMAX films there because I don't watch a lot of TV, but I go see IMAX films occasionally. I saw Sea Monsters in 3D, unbelievably powerful. You know, best 3D I've ever seen last night, and it was the first time that the crowd was so dumb. I tried to tell them don't throw their glasses, the 3D glasses, you know, in the trash. They thought the trash can was the place to put them, and I didn't argue. I just watched everybody line up, and I told them, no, guys, the bucket's out in the hall. But they didn't used to do that. That's the point. Everyone's unraveling. It's like they're zombies. It's like Attack of the Living Dead, man. And they've all got Bevo shirts on, and they're all throwing them in the trash can because, listen, less than 4% of Americans now read a book in a year. I mean, they just are made to be raped, folks, and the government's totally bought and paid for. I mean, I appreciate your call, man. I mean, here's another example. They play little games with you. They have this big national blitz on radio and TV right before the Iraq War going, the dirty Frenchies want some of the weapons and building contracts, but they didn't support the war. Americans, are we going to give that to dirty Frenchies? No dirty Frenchies. All right, everybody knows the dirty, freedom fries, all this, you know, I'm not going to drink red wine anymore, all this stuff. And they go, that's right. That's why Halliburton gets no-bid contracts. And then I hear national hosts knowingly treating you like you're idiots. See, they'll talk to you, Pat, oh, I like you, you good American. Oh, you're a great American. You're a fine American. Most of these guys are famous beatniks from the 60s turned fake conservative. I mean, it's so sick what they do to you. When the debate was about U.S. companies couldn't bid, they were no-bid contracts. Foreigners were never allowed to have bids. Now, Halliburton and almost every one of those companies have moved to Dubai. Cheney's bought a house in Dubai. Cheney dumped all of his currency stock into euros last year. He's totally forsaking America. It doesn't matter, folks. They're going to run around with tears in their eyes. Blackwater USA. Oh, they're not mercenaries. They're loyal Americans. Look, when you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball, the Lady Gaga, the Justin Bieber, who gives you these carbon tax messages. They tell your kids they got to love Justin Bieber, and then Bieber says, hand in your guns, pass the Cybersecurity Act, and the police state's good, and then your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal, and when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200 and something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer, an explorer, going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shatter your mind talking about Justin Bieber. It's pure evil. They're taking your intellect and your soul and giving you Michael Jordan and Bieber. Unlock your human potential. Defeat the globalists who want to shatter your mind, your doorways to perception. I want to see you truly live. I want to see you truly be who you are. And now they love it. They can abuse and beat up everybody, and nobody can stop them. Nobody can stop them. They're having their way with America. They want our guns. And if you're not with them, cops and military, then you will declare that you're with the Republic now. And don't tell me that I'm a weirdo because I'm upset about this, and I should only go get upset about my favorite football team winning or losing. Listen, I know what tyranny means. I know the bankers are putting poison in our food and water. I know the bankers have stolen $8.5 trillion. I know we're under War Powers Act. I know they're hurting us. I know they're carrying out New World Order. I know they staged those terror attacks. You know what it's like to go up to this and go out every day and go past the peer pressure and come out day one and say 9/11 was an inside job and lose most of the radio stations I was on. You know what it's like to go to sleep every night knowing you work for a bunch of psychotic killers and you bastards are probably going to end up killing me one day. You know what it's like knowing you've ruined my life. You know what it's like, you sons of bitches. I'm tired of your crap. You commit evil, you're part of an evil system, and we're standing up against you. And the Republic is going to defeat you in the end. Some of us won't make it personally through this, but a lot of us are. And in the end, you are going to be brought to justice for all the kids you kidnapped for CPS, all you CPS workers, all you corrupt bureaucrats, all of you that have had your way with innocent children over and over again who think your evil's invincible. You're not invincible, and God is going to deal with you. And you are cursed to hell. Just open tyrants, a bunch of weak pansies jumping around like fairies, telling me how I'm their slave. No, you little piece of trash. I'm not your slave. I'm red-blooded. I got a big heart pumping blood. I'm strong. My ancestors were strong. And we're going to rouse and rise free humanity to identify who you are. And as you wage war against us, 1776. You and Ann Coulter and all of you telling us the radiation's good for us. You telling us death is good for us. Abortion and one-child policies are good. We're not drinking out of your fetid, filthy, pus-filled cup, your goblet of death. We recognize your slimy weakness, and that's why you wage war against strength and the family and everything beautiful, because you're a bunch of twisted, servile worms who've turned yourself over to pure evil. And I openly rebuke you. I openly call you out before God and everyone else. And I pray that the masses fully break their conditioning and the spell they're under and recognize you for what you are, a 21st century green Hitler calling for global domination through a corporate creeping structure that strangles free humanity. Calling you out, you piece of trash, you maggot. Right out of the gates of Hades. Go back to Hades where you came from. Crawl back there. But God's going to judge you. You know, God judges twice. During this life, it comes back on you. You reap what you sow. And when you die, there's two judgments. There's two comings. I wouldn't want to be you and the type of black, bloody treasure you're taking on, the chains you're wrapping around your soul for eternity, the big chest with the bloody silver you drag behind you. Telling people that families are bad, telling people radiation is good because you love the infertility it creates, not just against humans, but all life. The deformity, the pain, the suffering children that I can feel in my mind's eye. Millions that have died for I declare eternal war against you. All of my humanity, all of the strength of my ancestors, all of the strength that God gives me, we will defeat you. Humanity will not let you prevail. You will not keep humanity from its destiny to populate the stars and become what God envisions for us. You will fail. You have failed from the foundations of the creation of earth. And you know it. Laugh all you want, but in your gut, in your soul, in the remnants that are left of it, you giggle that mirth-filled lie, that acid-spilling stench, because you can feel the mouth of hell, that maw opening. You can feel your soul stretching thin. Oh, yes! Oh, rising up, for the joke is on them! It's all on them! It's all on them! All of it's on them! All of it's on them! Every stinking bit of it! Every little bit! Oh, God! Oh, I'm getting a little hot here! I'm getting a little wild here! I don't know what to do! Oh, it's so much fun. Oh, yes, the New World Order's going down. Oh, get out there and get fired up. Let these bastards know we're human. Let them know we're not submitting to them. Yeah, go back to retransmission. Go back to retransmission. And then get out there and let them know that they're not their slaves. I run into so many people who think they're part of the establishment, who will, I run into chemists, biologists, doctors, it's normally that type of professional in the scientific field, who will say, okay, but there are too many people, Alex. And that's another argument. And I look at it for the sake of argument, I'll say, let's say there is. So you're for this. And they're like, well, something's got to be done. And I look at them and I say, so you like your food and water being messed with? They're like, no, I didn't say that. Well, that's the reality, idiot. You aren't on the winning team, moron. That goes for you, sociopath and psychopath cops and people out there. You think you're winners working for this? You think you're allowed to engage in all this crime and taser old people to death and stuff just came out this week? You think they're hiring all these pedophiles and perverts at the TSA because they're going to stop there? You think they're converting the police and military over to gangbangers and crooks just because it's fun and because they want to give you some power? You are sitting there weaving your own rope, sticking it around my neck and sticking it around your neck, and you're idiots. You're idiot scum. You're weak. Someone who's strong wants to build up humanity. Someone who's strong wants to defend the weak, not chew their guts out. But you'd never know that because you're soulless and you're turned over to wickedness. And the only satisfaction I have is to know that you're going to be caught in your own trap. You're going to fall into your own pit. Cowardly trash. Could break your neck. I could sever your head with my two hands, you scum. Now we're coming back after this break with phone calls. And as you can tell, I'm rested. And the point is that, and they walk over, these women that have joined the system, they got power in the system, you know they're 45 and can't have kids, and hate their boyfriend who walks behind them. You see this now. This is the new. The men are submissive. The women walk in front. They're hyper-hormone. The men are given female hormones. The women have receptors designed to be aggressive with their hormones. The men have receptors designed to be passive. And the woman's walking in front, and her husband or boyfriend's right there. What are you doing with 3 kids? Man, And my wife just laughs at them. But these are acolytes. These are priestesses of our death. They are no longer the great heart of humanity. They are now the They are now the wenches of Satan. They are now the enforcers of death. Their sacrament is dead babies. Their sacrament is black scorched earth. Their sacrament is hell poured out and the stench of rotten flesh. Their wombs are temples of Satan. That's who they are. That's what they want, and you will get it. You will die early of cancer. You will be trendy, and you will be dissolved in a vat of acid because it's bad to burn your body. And bad to be interred. You will have it all. You will have what you want. You will have your day of hell. You will have it all. Now, I haven't even gotten into the news yet, but I am just beside myself at the open evil. I'll be honest. I try to not watch mainstream television. I try to not tune into the mainline propaganda because I mainly focus on news, not popular culture. And the news is bad enough, but it's only targeting 25% of the population or less who think they're intelligentsia because they read this twisted propaganda. The rest, 75% or so, are in suspended disbelief, sitting in front of televisions, being bombarded with high-tech propaganda and being prepared to not have a survival instinct and to flip their survival instinct into a nihilistic death instinct. And that's now pretty much been successfully flipped to where life is seen as death and death is seen as life, where evil and stench is seen as beauty and exhilaration and enlightenment is seen as hell. So the flip is now happening, and I need to focus more on popular culture because that's where the baptism of stench is occurring. That's where the titan of death is being released. That's where the real destruction is happening. We'll tell you about them coming after your guns when we come back. They're coming. They said they're going to kill you if you don't turn them in. Wake up, sheep. And I know our audience is awake, but you got to start getting in the face of these sheep. They are dumber than the day is long, man. I got to tell you right now. All these glassy-eyed little sheep-like, Obama, Obama. And David Ortiz was down there interviewing down at the Driscoll Hotel, the Democratic Party here in Austin. Thousands of people running around, just like they'd all just won a $10 million lottery, and just stars in their eyes. I'm sorry, Republicans, you lost, we won. Listen, it's like those novels that have 2 or 3 different endings, but instead of pick your adventure, it's pick your nightmare. It's not that Romney was good. It's that Obama is so openly anti-liberty and that people would buy into it is the death of us. I mean, I got kids, man. I live here. I love this country. I'm not bragging. It's just that I got deep roots in this country. And I've studied countries, and there's nowhere else to go. It's all bad. And, you know, my ancestors have been here from the beginning, and I hate watching the slow death of this country and the slow death and the dumbing down of people and people giving up their individuality and their dignity and becoming collective Borgs in the stinking, corrupt, banker-run government that they think is giving them stuff because they care about you. A crack dealer doesn't give 10-year-old kids free crack for a week because he likes them. He gives it to them to get them addicted. And they're putting our kids on the Prozac and the Ritalin, and they're killing them, and we're getting cancer, and they're killing us with GMO. Does anybody believe Californians voted no to put on the label if it's genetically modified? When the big companies ran fraud, sending letters out like they were the police, saying the police say don't do it, and all this other crud. Okay, I said I'd go to your calls. Energy stocks decline, coal miners top losers. Let me explain something. I see the Democrats get excited even, we're going to shut down coal. And I'm like, yeah, that's like a Pinto you're driving over there. Nothing against it, but you don't have a lot of money. Are you ready to pay a lot more for your? I mean, listen. I live in a town where in the last 5 years the price of power doubled, and they admit because they say it's for the earth they make us pay more for foreign megabanks that own the coal plant. Okay, I'm already starting to rant. I said I'd go to your calls. I said I'd go to your calls. I said I'd go to your calls. It's just making me angry. Do you understand that hundreds, over 160, I said 100 last hour, it's over 160 countries are exempt from these global rules the banks are putting in. The banks come and tell your country to do it. Only Europe, England, the U.S., Australia, New Zealand. Folks, they've already put these in Australia. It is devastating them. It's meant to devastate you so you become poor and got to go get little chicken feed from the government. Then they got more dependent lemmings to sick on the few producers that are left until they start putting people in forced work brigades like North Korea. China did it. They killed 60 to 80 million people. Nobody knows. I mean, and they got re-education camp stuff in the new Army manual. Look, I'm not going to your stinking re-education camp where some perv is over me and my family. It ain't happening. The tip of the spear, the front lines in the info war. We are attempting and having a lot of success at alerting the population of the United States and to a great extent the rest of the world to the private banking cartel's global program to bankrupt every nation on Earth, to bankrupt every family on Earth, and roll us into a new global government, environmental fascism dictatorship of the banking cartel, where they collectivize all of our wealth via socialism and communism at the grassroots and combine it into their hands. This is the essence of the New World Order, and I declare a declaration of human independence against it. And by calling into the radio show, by spreading the word about freedom, by listening to the radio show, by making your own documentaries or doing your own YouTubes, you are part of that declaration against tyranny as well. When you talk to your neighbors about freedom, when you talk to your pastor about standing up for what's right, you intensify the fires of liberty that are already raging across the globe. Now, the globalists are pouring on all the heat they can, pushing their hive mind, Borg, collectivist, zombie public system. So we are in an absolute pitch battle. We are swinging muskets here, toe-to-toe with the globalists. They're bloodied. We're bloodied. It is absolute total war. Economic, psychological, physical, spiritual, toe-to-toe with the social engineers. We can beat them if we'll get out of their mind trick, recognize who they are, read their own white papers and books where they call us degenerate, dumb scum, that they're going to dumb down further, set up a control grid, and kill. Well, not me and not my family. Not without one hell of a fight. You ask for it, you're going to get one. It's that simple. Stop feeling like you don't have power. Stop feeling pathetic and weak. Break out of your television-induced trance. It starts with a war growl. It starts with getting fired up, staring at yourself in the mirror and showing some teeth and saying, I'm a human being, I have dignity, I'm going to resist, I'm going to start recognizing the propaganda, I'm going to break free from it, I'm not going to fight with my family, I'm going to organize with my family and realize we're under attack by the social engineers, and I'm not going to fight with my neighbors, we're going to organize, humanity's going to come together. Ah! Ah! We know we're under attack, we know it, we're breaking the conditioning. Ah! Ah! We're coming for you, globalist. Ah! Coming for you. Coming for you. We know what you're doing. I'm sorry. I just get fired up when I think about what they're doing to us and how I want to resist them and how easy they are to defeat. Excuse me. I think my testosterone's going up. This happens every time I start working out a lot again. And I swam 2 miles this morning pretty hard and ate a big fat steak last night. It's full of hormones, testosterone on its own right. So I'm going a little bit wild today. Excuse me.
It doesn't provide any real information or purposes as to why, because it's really happening. They stole $14.8 trillion in 7 months. They're going for broke. This is it, dumbasses. There's no more time to screw around. Get yourselves in gear, police that serve this system, and decide whose side you're on. Cut all the crap. I saw all these police videos from around the country, Indiana, California, you name it, where cops run up and boot kick suspects in the head when the guys have got their hands out, and then the police defend it and say, they were just positioning his head. The guy kicked the head, blood's flying, just boom, total power, guy's knocked out, and they go, that isn't physical assault. You can just kill somebody. We teach them to do that. It's head positioning in case he might have tried to spit. First he said, oh, he spit. Then later it was on the video. The guy didn't spit. He's like, I'm submitting. And they kick him in the head, do high fives. And then the cops come out and defend it. And I hear Austin Caller's radio going, yeah, they shot those two guys in the car. You shouldn't be in your own car at night. They deserve to die. Well, the bankers deserve to take your bank accounts then. They deserve to have total. You understand tyranny isn't cute. Tyranny isn't fun. Going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shatter your mind talking about Justin Bieber. It's pure evil. They're taking your intellect, your soul, and giving you Michael Jordan and Bieber. Unlock your human potential. Defeat the globalists who want to shatter your mind. Your doorways to perception. I want to see you truly live. I want to see you truly be who you are. We're obsessed with diversions and distractions, the equivalent of modern Roman bread and circuses, gladiatorial distractions. And I am sick and tired of it. And Obama and his controllers know exactly what they're doing. He calls it a nice diversion in his statement about Japan while you're filling out your March Madness picks. He knows it's a diversion, and they're keeping us in the dark, and there's a giant cover-up going on of the radiation coming across the Pacific Ocean to our country, and they think it's funny. Do you understand how big a deal this is? This illustrates the sickness of our nation and how by design they roll this out as a distraction. And she said, I'm afraid the computer's locked up. I'm going to need to charge you, but I promise later that I'll go and charge them. Okay? And I knew right then, I could tell, she had this demonic look on her face. She was going to show me. And I knew I would get the money refunded, which I did from History Channel. I said, okay, here's my card, here's my stuff. She hit me and hit me hard. Didn't charge them, charged me. She showed me. She is God. She is master. She is the Soviet. She is the East German. She is the scum. She is the armies of weak, pot-bellied trash that now run this country. And you've got people so ignorant that they see something that says hemp, and they don't even know it's a different variety that has no THC. None. Does nothing to your brain. All right, you see, I've got all this news to cover, and I'm ranting about ignorance. The news is saying, I read a newspaper saying no side effects from the flu shot, and I can read to you from the CDC saying Guillain-Barré's, narcolepsy, seizures, permanent epilepsy, coma, death, bleeding, autoimmune disorder. I'm informed. I'm not bad. I'm not a terrorist because I spend my time being informed. I'm not bad because I found the wonder of learning and the wonder of the universe. I'm not bad because I want freedom. I'm not bad or weird or sick because I'm informed. It's like that movie Idiocracy, one of my favorites, by Mike Judge. By the way, I talked to Mike a few days ago. He promises when he gets back from L.A. he's going to come on. So I'm excited about that. I'm a fan. He says he's a fan. I look forward to. So we have mutual friends who are always telling me, I mean, he's just such a genius when it comes to exposing the ignorance. Anybody that doesn't understand where we're going, watch Idiocracy. But my point in all of this is that I don't enjoy seeing people dumbed down and mindless. See, the more you learn about logic and history and the way humans operate, the more the rest of the pieces fall in place like a jigsaw puzzle. And pretty soon, you're leaping with understanding. I learn more now in a week than I previously learned in a year. It's unbelievable. It makes me a little eccentric, makes me a little obnoxious, because I am constantly in a state of total frustration because I cannot even write large on the world what I know and try to turn around what's happening. The only hope we've got is to wrest people out of this medical trance. The general public is in a suspended disbelief, daydreaming medical trance. We've probably had 5 articles the last week written by Paul Watson, Steve Watson, and myself on this issue. I'm going to write a big master article that we're going to put in the new issue of the magazine coming up in the November issue. But my point is that you are in a medical trance. You're not supposed to feel like you're in a haze. You're not supposed to feel depressed. You're not supposed to feel aimless. You're supposed to be seething with power, seething with electricity, seething with art, seething with passion.
I want a renaissance. I want fires in the minds of men and women. I want you to win. I want you to succeed. And the globalists, they don't. They want you scared and small and stupid and with shutters on inside a box with blinders, never really becoming conscious. That's what's amazing. Most people are not conscious. And the globalists tell you you're an animal, you're dumb, it's Skinnerian, you don't have a choice, you're a computer. In their own writings, they say they don't believe that and they know that's not true. They have to keep you down to keep you in that state so that you don't become a human and truly develop into what you're supposed to develop into. They want to arrest your development. When you turn on the television, everything is about arresting your development. Everything is about shutting you down. You want to know who the globalists are? They're that type of person that wants money and power because they're insecure, who wants to dominate those around them because they're insecure and crave power. And they're the types who hate artists and researchers and trailblazers because it intimidates them. They're the people that hate a handsome man or a good-looking woman and really hate a good-looking couple. I'm not very good-looking today, but 15, 20 years ago, I was extremely good-looking. And I noticed that I never knew why so many people would act upset towards me. But now I've learned psychology and anthropology and sociology, and it's a whole phenomenon of especially gorgeous women, people treating them badly. And handsome men being treated badly by a lot of people. They're obviously treated good by others. There's all different types in the world. But you take that and you expand upon it to the globalists sneaking poison in the food and water, dumbing us down, deploying these systems. That's what evil is. It feels like it's not invited to the party like Sleeping Beauty and the Witch, so she poisons the well. Those fairy tales, folks, are all archetypes of things that really go on throughout history. And she's like, you didn't invite me to the wedding? How about everybody's going to fall asleep in the kingdom? And the weeds are going to grow up. The post-industrial world. If you study the Jacobites and the people that ran the French Revolution, this is mainline history books. You can't put it down if you read the history of it. Giant hordes of hundreds of thousands of Illuminati devil worshippers who said, we're ending the family, we're going to a 9-day work week, no vacations, we're going to murder and kill and drink blood and slaughter. I mean, these people were unbelievable. They took a country over and ran wild, chopping heads off until Napoleon came along, until the society collapsed. And they wanted to go back to a post-industrial Mad Max road warrior system. That's Agenda 21. That's the UN. That's the communists. They're all Illuminati. The Illuminati is real. These people like to murder people. They like to grab your kid off the sidewalk and grab them and torture them and scare the daylights out of them and pull their teeth out with pliers. Okay? And they're building a world. Look at the death. Look at the destruction. Look at the evil. Look what the system pushes. Look at what they stand for. Look at their fruits. And they sell you death and destruction and ugliness constantly so you don't get threatened by it. So you begin to see it as entertaining. So that you don't differentiate when your neighbor's being drug off, when they're getting thrown into the Coliseum to the lions. That's where all this is headed. And Hunger Games and The Running Man, all of that becoming reality. And it's entertainment, watching people get beat by police or tasered or die. And it's like, there's too many people anyways. Just having an attitude to go ahead and take my neighbor. Go ahead and kill somebody. Go ahead and euthanize that old person. Go ahead and get rid of that lady but she was ugly and disgusting in that iron lung rotting in there. Oh, she wrote poetry and published children's books. That ugly piece of filth. I bet her family hated her. This is the kind of stuff I listen to on the radio. And I go, well, that must just be that show. And I flip the channel. It's the same thing. Oh, ugly Down syndrome kids. We need to get rid of them. And next channel, Bill Maher. Yeah, we need to kill all these ugly people and get some highways open. Then I know Bill Maher's on the PETA board, and I know things about PETA almost no one else knows because of inside knowledge through sources. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Satanist. I mean, that is what we're dealing with here. We're all in danger. Don't you understand that? Just because you don't read the newspaper, some new listeners out there, just because you choose to think I'm lying to you, doesn't change the fact that I'm right and I know what I'm talking about. And I don't like watching a pack of scum run wild and take over. I want to beat them. I want to protect good people. I want to protect the innocent. And I've had enough of these evil people running around. Of course the TSA sticking their hands down your pants. Of course they're dragging little kids off to private rooms and your wife and your husband. They're getting all the precedents set. Look at this article I got right here up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Conservative radio host, TSA groped my vagina. They got video of this, of them dragging his wife off to closed door, even though she said she didn't want to. See, I told you, this is the head of Breitbart this happened to, the editor. She said, I don't want to be taken there. And they said, you're going. See, first, would you like a private screening room? Next, you're going to one. Folks, they are deploying mobile armored dungeons for the sides of the highways to do this to you on the highway. That's in the news. Do you understand the grave danger of the Jacobins? We are in grave danger of total Illuminati revolution. And what does the Illuminati call for in their own writings that are in Encyclopedia Britannica? Murder, death, mayhem, a boot stomping on the human face, human sacrifice, fires, burning cities, slaughter, death, because that's what they like. That the journey is the destination for these people. Whether you believe in God or not, folks, these people believe in a manifestation of God that is hell itself. And they always run through societies till they collapse. And the globalists, all these Illuminati 2.0s, 3.0s now, in the 20s and 30s, they would all sit there being hailed as liberal philosophers, Bertrand Russell and others. And they said, well, our revolutions have failed before because of collapse during the time of our great work. But because of industrialization and mechanization, we'll be able to scientifically set it up where it won't collapse, and our great work will just continue and continue and continue until the breast of the earth is saved from the evil human, and we've killed almost 90% or more. I mean, they just dream of hunting us down. They love poisoning your food and your water. They love it. They love the fact that they can just creep around and engage in their mass murder. And they will be defeated if we wake up and say no. And there's video of her being drug off, conservative radio host, Breitbart editor, Dana Loesch, I think you pronounce it, had her bleep groped during an advanced screening by the TSA at Phoenix Airport, with her complaining that she was targeted for the treatment almost every time she flies, and that she didn't want to be taken to the private room. Full video up at Infowars.com.
Will be analyzed. Who knows? But here, wrote Jason Whitlock, is what I believe. If Javon Belcher didn't possess a gun, he and Cassandra Perkins would both be alive today.
There you go. Let me give you a news flash, punk. Not everybody makes $10 million a year like you. Not everybody can live in big armored gated communities and have bodyguards like you and Dianne Feinstein and Barbara Boxer and Chucky Schumer and Sarah Brady and all of you people that are on record having guns. Okay? How dare you not focus on why society is degenerating and then try to take my guns? Only a punk coward would use a gun on his girlfriend. Only a piece of garbage. And because he's bad, I need to have my guns taken? Hey, listen, great cities like New York and Chicago, where they've banned citizens' right to own guns, where they arrest political activists for a .22 handgun, they are places where everyone has lost their right to defend themselves, and they have the highest crime rates. That's unbelievable. He could have stabbed her. He could have broke her neck. If there wasn't a gun, this wouldn't have happened. Bull. Now, look right here. Here's the local Chronicle. Anti-gun, anti-hunting, anti-everything. Going out for dinner. Learning the responsibilities and rewards of getting your own game at a hunting school for women. And it's a pro-hunting article. It's over. The liberals that I know are all buying guns. They're getting into hunting. They're figuring out its domestication. The feminists are figuring it out. You're losing. The gun culture's winning.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Former U.S. congressman who was in Libya said he saw NATO troops beheading people. And of course he did. We got Webster Tarpley joining us 30 minutes to talk about that. Then in the entire third hour, open phones. I'm opening the phones up right now. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231. And I'd specifically like to hear from you on the martial law drills that we saw this last week. First, the system starts out, this is very important, in test cities all over the country in the last 5 years with a, quote, no refusal weekend. Like, oh, you're not allowed to refuse this weekend. There's no Fourth Amendment. We're going to take your blood at checkpoints. It's like, oh, we don't have a Bill of Rights on this special day. And then sure enough, I told you this would happen because it follows their pattern. It's all psychological warfare. They've now announced all over the country, well, there's just no refusal 365 days a year. There's no the Fourth Amendment. We're taking your blood. That's how they work. So it's, yeah, on September 11th and other dates, we set up checkpoints all over the country and have the army out. But you know what? We're not going to let al-Qaeda hit us. And then it's all the time. And then it's not al-Qaeda anymore. It's Ron Paul supporters. It's in the fetters. See, that's how this works. And if you're a new listener and heard me talking about drills at public schools, mainly elementary, all over the country, you're gravely mistaken. I have shown you newscasts where the children are crying and the police are aiming guns at them. They have unannounced where guys come in camo with guns and say they're going to kill people. Teachers have had heart attacks and collapse before. One lady I interviewed, I got her lawyer on with me a few years ago, where it happened in Minneapolis. And they were out in the portable buildings. It was, sixth grade? And men came in and said, we're with the militia, we're going to kill you. And they took them all out in the woods, and they all believed they were going to die. And it was on the news. The children were defecating, urinating, all over themselves. The teacher collapsed and had mental problems ever since. They had another case where a teacher had a heart attack. They've had a bunch of cases where children are shot. Just type in child shot during police drill. More often, though, cop killed in safety drill at school. That's happened a bunch of places. I mean, this is beyond bizarre. And they also have these drills, and this was on 60 Minutes Friday night on MSNBC, where that was the other part of the show. They're like, every place, every McDonald's, every school, every mall must have armed guards and lockdown doors. Now you understand? The cops were like, yes, sir, we do. The terrorists will hit you. It was really weird, because I guess they know a redneck can, like, send the mind control out or something. But it's like, do you understand? And they cuss the cops. Man, I'm telling you, terrorists are everywhere. We got to have security everywhere. Thank God he's here to keep us safe. They cut back to him, and they had this weird colonel. His eyes were, like, going around in circles. He looked nuts. And he's going, I'm telling you right now, it's a serious situation. I'm going to teach people how to survive. And terrorists are going, yes. And the Army colonel really works well with the military. It shows, like, at this event, 500 top officers come in to hear the colonel speak. Terrorism will affect everything. It will hit every target. Everyone will be hit in America. It's about to start. They cut to the military officers. What do you think? And the military officers, this group didn't have the good old boy thing going, but they were like, well, I understand it's a bit over the top, but it's what we need to keep us safe. I mean, it's just like, cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. I mean, it is cuckoo for absolute 100 trillion Cocoa Puffs. I mean, they had this Army colonel in there who looked like central casting. He looked like a bird dog. I mean, his eyes just pointed straight forward. He's like, terrorists are going to hit you right now. Every one of you going to be attacked. Are you ready to come? Yes, sir, we're ready. Keep it safe, sir. I mean, it was the most pathetic. What's wrong with you people? And these cops, like, were getting off on it. It's just so scary, the terrorists. You idiots.
Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Well, you found it, my friends. The tip of the spear, the front lines in the info war. We are attempting and having a lot of success at alerting the population of the United States and to a great extent the rest of the world to the private banking cartel's global program to bankrupt every nation on Earth, to bankrupt every family on Earth, and roll us into a new global government, environmental fascism dictatorship of the banking cartel, where they collectivize all of our wealth via socialism and communism at the grassroots and combine it into their hands. This is the essence of the New World Order, and I declare a declaration of human independence against it. And by calling into the radio show, by spreading the word about freedom, by listening to the radio show, by making your own documentaries or doing your own YouTubes, you are part of that declaration against tyranny as well. When you talk to your neighbors about freedom, when you talk to your pastor about standing up for what's right, you intensify the fires of liberty that are already raging across the globe. Now, the globalists are pouring on all the heat they can, pushing their hive mind, Borg, collectivist, zombie public system. So we are in an absolute pitch battle. We are swinging muskets here, toe-to-toe with the globalists. They're bloodied. We're bloodied. It is absolute total war. Economic, psychological, physical, spiritual, toe-to-toe with the social engineers. We can beat them if we'll get out of their mind trick, recognize who they are, read their own white papers and books where they call us degenerate, dumb scum, that they're going to dumb down further, set up a control grid, and kill. Well, not me and not my family. Not without one hell of a fight. You ask for it, you're going to get one. It's that simple. Stop feeling like you don't have power. Stop feeling pathetic and weak. Break out of your television-induced trance. It starts with a war growl. It starts with getting fired up, staring at yourself in the mirror and showing some teeth and saying, I'm a human being, I have dignity, I'm going to resist, I'm going to start recognizing the propaganda, I'm going to break free from it, I'm not going to fight with my family, I'm going to organize with my family and realize we're under attack by the social engineers, and I'm not going to fight with my neighbors, we're going to organize. Humanity's going to come together. Ah! Ah! We know we're under attack! We know it! We're breaking the conditioning! Ah! Ah! We're coming for you, globalist! Ah! Coming for you! Coming for you! We know what you're doing! Ah, I'm sorry. I just get fired up when I think about what they're doing to us and how I want to resist them and how easy they are to defeat. Excuse me. I think my testosterone's going up. This happens every time I start working out a lot again. And I swam 2 miles this morning pretty hard and ate a big fat steak last night. It's full of hormones, testosterone on its own right. So I'm going a little bit wild today. Excuse me. But now that I've pointed that out, ladies and gentlemen, we see the fruits of the New World Order. We see the fruits of what they've created. We see that the wages of their system is death and degradation. There was an article on Monday that I meant to get to in the last 3 days when we were live, Tuesday and Wednesday. So now here we are. And I'm going to read this to you just to illustrate what's happened to us. Then I'm going to get to some really good news. The Justice Department is obstructing fast and furious gun probe. ATF director says we've now got the sickening crooks in government fighting with each other, a real sign that the sinking ship is very close to going down. If we simply get the buzz going on this, this can be the Nixon moment for Obama because he's been caught lying about not knowing about it. All we've got to do is have the will to recognize these crooks and call them out, and they'll all go down. That's what's so disgusting about all this. Resistance is victory! They openly are killing us through the vaccines, the GMO, the fluoride, the bisphenol A, and bragging how they're doing it. They're murdering us like cowards that they are. They don't come up with a sword and spear or a shield and say, come on the field and fight me. They creep around like the globalist chicken neck cowards they are and dose everything we eat and everything we drink with their poison, to sap us of our will, to sap us of our strength, to sap us of our honor, and to slowly kill us so they can dance around and lick their lips and laugh about it. John P. Holdren, Bill Gates, all of them, Ted Turner, the globalists, all of them writing their sickening hate letters to humanity about how they're going to kill all of us, how they're going to accelerate the soft kill. I recognize you for what you are, you filthy trash. And I am here to energize the human spirit and light that fire that will burn your system into a pile of black slag. Excuse me. I mean, we're murdering us. Diabetes doubled the last 10 years. Cancer doubled. Children walking around with their bald heads, dying of cancer all around me. Why? This is a normal response to them. Break your conditioning. Be a human. Not all of us have been destroyed by your system. Not all of us fail so easily. Some of us are not immune, but are resistant to you. And I'm like a white blood cell. I'm like a T lymphocyte that goes in and wakes up the other white blood cells to an attack. And no matter what you do to this T lymphocyte, I've already started the enzyme chain reaction. You will be defeated. I will it. And millions of others will your downfall. And you knew it from the time you began this system, from the foundations of the earth. You were to fail. All right, I got to settle down now. Let's talk about what they've done to us. Let's look at these numbers. And in this story at Infowars.com from the economic collapse, you can go through each one of them. And actually, in many cases, it's worse than even this writer put down. Okay? Now, in every category that we're going to go over, it was the reverse. The United States was the best, the lowest crime rate, the highest test scores, the longest lived, the lowest infant mortality rate, the lowest levels of cancer. All of that reverse now. This is what the social engineers have done. This is what they've given you, a living death. And then I'll get into all the news and your phone calls. Number one, 20 not-so-good categories that the United States leads the world in. We were once the leader in good things. Now we're the leader in bad things because we're the model, and England's always a close second. In fact, the few areas where we're not number one, in bad things, England has just taken the cup because we're under the exact same system. Now, continuing here. This is what we lead in. Is the United States number one? Many Americans take deep pride in their nation and the truth that the U.S. has a lot going for it. The United States has the largest economy in the world. No longer it's falling to China. The United States also has the most powerful military on the planet. Belongs to the bankers. The United States has produced most of the greatest movies the world has ever seen. That's a mind control program. But the United States is also number one in a lot of categories that are not so great. If we ever want to turn this country around, we need to be very honest with ourselves. We need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and realize that it is not a good thing that we are number one in divorce, drug addiction, debt, obesity, car thefts, murders, and total crimes. We have become a slothful, greedy, decadent nation that is exhibiting signs of advanced decay. Until we understand just how bad our problems really are, we won't be able to come up with the solutions that we need. A lot of people that write articles like this have a deep hatred of America, but that is not the case with me. I love the United States, so do I. I love the American people. We've been under the greatest attack, is why we've become this. America is like an aging, bloated rock star, Elvis, I would add, that has become addicted to a dozen different drugs. America is a shadow of its former self and desperately needs to wake up before it plunges into oblivion. Well, a technocratic hell. If you do not believe that the United States and America is in bad shape, just read the list below. The following 20 are not so good categories the United States leads the world in. Number 1, the United States has the highest incarceration rate in the world. The social engineers admit that's why we also have the highest crime rate. These are colleges of crime. The United States is the highest incarceration rate in the world and the largest total prison population of the entire globe, not just in the aggregate. Number 2, according to Nation Master, the United States has the highest percentage of obese people in the world. No one denies that, even though in many cases we eat less calories than folks that don't eat GMO. The GMO fries your body. The United States has the highest divorce rate on the globe. First, they started with black folks, making them illegitimate so they could put their men in prison. Now they move on to everyone else. Number 4, the United States is tied with the UK for the most hours of television watched per person each week. In number 4 is the answer to why all this is happening. We'll give you the next 16 straight ahead. Stay with us. Let me get to the TSA news that I have. If you go to Infowars.com, we have a plethora of articles that we've done breaking this down in the past that are linked to in Kurt Nimmo's article, New York moves to deploy body scanners on the street in search for guns. And then it has links to the latest announcements. The point is, this has been going on a long time. It's a violation of your privacy. It's a violation of the 10th Amendment because the feds are involved. And it also exposes you to radiation risk. But here's the article. NYPD Commissioner Ryan Kelly told CBS News in New York his department is looking to deploy terahertz imaging detection scanners on the street in the war on illegal guns. Now, remember, whenever they say they're looking at it, that's like the head of the Office of Science, the White House science czar. His first speech 3.5 years ago was to say, hey, guess what? We've already been testing for decades terraforming or geoengineering the atmosphere with aluminum dioxide, barium salt, or chemtrails. Guess what? That's all real. But we're going to keep the details classified, but so far it's been a test. And that's what they're saying. When you watch the CBS News piece that we're linked to in our Infowars.com article, they admit they've already got the systems up and are testing them. They're already in the city of New York with Homeland Security money. And, 4 years ago, Homeland Security bought these giant mobile 18-wheelers that they're now setting up on highway checkpoints. It's now happening. And they just have you walk through them and naked body scan you. And that's not enough. They randomly ask you questions to see if you're a terrorist with some quack brain-reading machine that picks up facial expressions. And they get these minimum wage employees and have them read a book and take a 6-hour class on facial expressions. And I had one of these idiots at the Austin TSA a few months ago come over and go, you're a troublemaker, Alex Jones. And I thought it was a joke. It was so pathetic and worm-like. I started laughing at the guy. I thought it was a joke. And he goes, no, you are a troublemaker. Where are you going? What you doing? And I just answered his question to be amiable. I wasn't in the mode of, hey, none of your business, idiot. And then he was like trying to act like I was doing something and looking at me. And I go, oh, you're doing your behavioral thing. You're God now, huh? Statistically, you're getting cancer from the scanners. Statistically, you guys have incredible high crime rates of robbing, raping, stealing from people. Don't sit there on your goody two-shoes throne where you, the government, are good and I'm bad. That's what it's all about. It's about this crook government teaching us we have to lay under them and put up with all their garbage and suck their boots whenever they say, and as they suck off on us with their taxes and all their regulations and all their bugging their eyes out at us, and cops strutting around everywhere trying to intimidate the public. This isn't what a free country looks like. It's what a rat-infested third world cesspit looks like. You guys aren't protecting America. You're helping deep six it for the traitor bankers that have taken over this country. And I'm sick of you, and I want you out. Man, I'm getting angry. And in case you think I'm joking, here's the CBS New York minion as we analyze this propaganda up there telling you it's secret and you don't know. And he's kind of getting off on it, the body language, like, ooh, he's part of the system, and ooh, it's so good to bootlick and be all part of it. Like, if you just join it, if you just have a good little attitude about it, you're on the winning team. I mean, you know you want to be on the winning team. Oh, look how America's winning under globalism. It's falling apart. Oh, Al Gore said Nafta and Gal were going to be great in 94. Oh, yeah, and he invented the internet, too. And he lays golden eggs under your Christmas tree. He's a Christmas Easter bunny. I mean, it's all a bunch of slime. Here is the teleprompter reader, and the controllers load in. Act happy and satisfied. They have little cues for them, and the best news readers are the ones that, in a dog-like way, follow all the orders of their controllers. And then they can nationally write the script and have all the little regurgitators. They're trained vomit heads. Vomit. You know, the big New World Order mama bird vomits the lies in their mouth, and then they vomit them back on us. And then when you're around the water cooler or whatever, the local chicken neck vomits it back on you, because they're real smart. Because they repeat what the sitcom or drama or news show told them. It's real great to have radiation beams shooting up and down the street, and it shows images of naked people walking around the street, because that's what a free country does. With telescreens everywhere saying, don't trust your neighbors in the Walmarts and other places. I mean, okay, here it is. Here's the clip.
Could soon be getting a virtual pat-down as you walk down the street and not even know about it. NYPD is testing new technology that would secretly scan pedestrians for weapons. CBS Hazel Sanchez shows us why privacy advocates say this crosses the line.
Oh, it crosses the line. No, let's stop right there. They crossed the line a long time ago. They crossed the line in 1913, letting a private bank take our country over. I'm going to go out to break and come back with your calls. I meant to go to them earlier. This isn't a radio show, folks. It's not an act. It's not some talk show host with a big bloated ego. I know I'm in a scientific matrix grid in the early phases of being inserted into an extermination system. I've got all their documents, all their statements. I'm watching them carry it out right on time. I know I'm 100% right. I wish I wasn't right. I want to turn this around before it's too late.
We've now reached the halfway point in this worldwide transmission on this Tuesday, June 9th, 2009. Just come on in, because you guys sit there at the door, and then I'm going to wait and not talk till you get it to me. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, this is the Daily World. Former CPS director sentenced to 10 years for child molestation. Now, I haven't created a computer file on this, but I should. About 80% of the time I hear about a kid being boiled to death or being tortured to death or being found in a cage, starved to death. They admit deep in the articles that it was a CPS worker or some lazy, pot-bellied PhD for social work who they'll warehouse 5-6 kids, put them in cages, I'm not kidding, or lock them up in rooms, barely feed them enough to live. You'll think they're concentration camp victims. I did service work in college some, and would go in the houses and say, what are these houses? And, the older or the people that knew more about the job would say, oh, this is a foster house. These are death pedophile pits, basically. And then they admit there's 7 times. I keep saying 5 times more likely to abuse. That was the cover of Newsweek in 2000. About 5 times more likely to abuse children. It's now 7 times more likely. I mean, there's no group worse than these people. And it says, former CPS director sentenced to 10 years for child molestation. Judge rejects recommendation for year in jail and treatment. Gary E. Anderson leaned into the podium, his head lowered, and his blue jail jumpsuit draped off his thin frame. The 67-year-old Child Protective Services director told the court he did not understand how he could have spent 36 years of his life defending children. You didn't. You went in there to rape them. Because you piece of trash. Including his own, and now stands guilty of raping a 9-year-old girl and molesting another girl of the same age. Because you're a bucket of crap. Because you're a worm. And because you don't just enjoy raping those children. For the same reason you enjoy, if you read the criminology or the psychology of why you like raping children, it's the same thing you like when those parents are crying, when you show up with brainwashed cops serving you and they drag that little kid out of their hands and you realize you're going to be raping them in just a few hours. It's the enjoyment. It's the domination. It's the power. So you enjoy those parents terrorizing in pain, just like local family court judges, and I've been in their courts watching them. And those families are crying. The judge is literally just going, I mean, they're just soaking the pain. And me, I'm like, that's why I can't go to these anymore, because it's literally like I'm in hell, and I'm going, it's just tearing my guts out, my soul out. And the rage just lifts, and the judge will even see it in your eyes and just look at you. And it's almost like Emperor Palpatine when Darth Vader finds out he's killed his wife. And Darth Vader's having a painful moment. You see Palpatine going, well, I've seen that in Judge Jean Muir, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen her when they're taking kids. And I mean, literally, it's just like, I just want to, that lady. I mean, she is a bucket of maggot evil. She is a pit demon of hell itself. And all over the country, the family court judges going to get caught getting massive payoffs for stealing kids from the adoption agencies, not to mention the federal bounties to do it. And I have seen them just, as they take a little kid and the parents are crying, we didn't do anything, you have no proof. And she's like, ha, ha, ha. She'll even, I've seen her on the news before. I've played the clip somewhere. It's a CBS clip where she's sitting there seizing people's kids for no reason in the schools, in the elementary schools. When the kid's late to class, they then make them sign a form agreeing that they were truant. Then when they're late again, they grab them. And when the parents are crying, you see Muir going. I mean, it's just like feeding vampirically on pain. And that's what he did right here. Another disgusting piece of absolute trash, Gary E. Anderson. And you look at it, they always look the same. Look at that weak pedophile piece of filth. Loves hurting innocent, weak people. Loves using the police to have his way. I bet that bailiff right there was probably helping him a month earlier grab people's kids. Look at that sack of demon. Now, due process isn't being followed with these family courts. And tomorrow there's a press conference coming up. We're going to have somebody on dealing with it. Call Governor Rick Perry to veto SB 1440. It ends completely the Fourth and Fifth Amendment, allows the police to take your children like they're al-Qaeda. You know, we're just grabbing al-Qaeda in America and secretly grabbing them. Oh, no, now it's your kids. In Texas and other states have introduced similar bills. This bill was even improperly changed after the House passed it by Kirk Watson, the demonic senator, literally demonic. Pure evil flows from this guy. Been battling him for 14 years. Now a state senator, was the mayor, and it goes directly to him. Call Governor Perry's office and tell him not to vote on child kidnapping and not to vote for the end of the Fourth Amendment, where they can take your children, no judge, no jury, not even a fake order. They just take your kids. And folks, they take them and they rape them. They rape babies. They don't care. And a lot of one of their favorite things is to do is to grab your kid and rape them and then say you did it and put you in prison for it. I'm not joking. Pedophiles are running most of your major governments, okay? In fact, I ought to do a whole program on the hundreds and hundreds of cases of Homeland Security officials caught doing it. In fact, Google Homeland Security official caught with child porn, or head of state children's bureau, New Jersey, caught raping children. I mean, that's what I saw in the last week. All right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up right there. because I got a guest on, and I apologize, she's got to hear this type of stuff, but it all integrates into the same situation. Evil has taken over and set up a system where evil is good and good is evil, and where they can carry out all their evil and then make us, the good people, bad and legitimize all their crap. Now, are you going to let them Abu Ghraib your children and your kids just disappear and they don't even tell you where they went? No judge, no jury, no order. So that rapists can have their way with your children. There is no group more dangerous than a truancy officer or a CPS worker or a foster parent. Period. Do you understand that most of the time when I hear about somebody arrested for pedophilia, it's a CPS director? See, the cops aren't bad, folks. They're not pedophiles on average. They're just like the general public. You have the same sample rate with them in the studies. They know the CPS is pedophiles. That's why they're constantly busting them doing it. I'm not saying something here the police don't know. It is a fact. And I am sick of it. Yeah, I'll be at the mall every once in a while or in a grocery store, and I'll see some like fat demonic creature going, looking at me. And I'll go, oh, that's a CPS worker that hates my guts. That's a pedophile right there. And they'll just like see me and go. And then one time I was in the Target parking lot and saw the little gremlin getting in his car. He didn't see me. We, I guess, had left near the same time. And it said safe children and the names of these different groups on the back as he was driving off. And I was like, it just hit me like adrenaline. I'm like, whoa, 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 it is one. Oh, my God. God, I've got discernment. Please. Well, you know, it's just so crazy. Just like, oh, there's one of the demons right there. You know, my instinct is just to, you know, clean house, folks. But I mean, literally. Then I got behind him in the car because I saw him inside 30 minutes before, leaving, see him there. He doesn't see me. Read his license, his bumper stickers, and then literally just, hit. You know when it hits you? Like, ugh. And I was like, oh, it's a demon. It actually is one. I mean, there he is. He's going to go on. He's probably going to grab a kid right then. He just can't wait to rape a 6-month-old baby. And he's going to blame the parents for it. They'll grab your kid. They go rape it that night in the examination, and then they come and blame you for it. I have had it with you, and I swear one thing on the eternal altar to God. We're going to bring you to justice, no matter what it takes, filth. I apologize. I just can't handle it anymore. I can't handle the stuff I've seen. I can't handle these people knowing nobody's stopping them. They just go on and on and on and on and on, committing their evil. And if I see one more pot-bellied, stick-armed, ball-headed pedophile CPS worker, I don't think I can handle it. They're bullies. They like hurting children. And I hate your guts. That's the problem. As I get older, I can't stand seeing things be abused. I can't even go hunting anymore because I can't. I know it's stupid. I don't even like shooting deer. If a lizard accidentally gets its tail cut off when I close my door, I almost cry. And then I think about kids, how they're killing. I apologize. I'm going to go to our guest for getting mad. All of the royalty stool going back over 500 years is stored. So this disgusting bucket of pus, this maggot-ridden Nazi piece of filth, gets up there every day and people wipe her disgusting hind end. I mean, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Chicken! Groom my stool, groom it, oh yeah. Wipe 5 times. Shoo, little black man, shoo. Groom my stool, groom it, oh yeah. You gotta fight. Wipe 5 times. Right. Groom my stool, groom it, oh yeah. Wipe 5 times. Go back to the Queen's England. Groom of the stool. Wipe 5 times. Groom it, oh yeah. And it's kind of like the way you let a fart out in church.
And you can't give me a smile? Wasn't that fun?
Of course they teach you that they don't have any power and just forget about them. Real wealth wants to just kind of sit back in the background. But the facts are, there's a woman on earth of all the dozens and dozens of commonwealths and semi-commonwealths who has total veto power. So you deliver. You kill your people for the New World Order, because that's what Dutch Rothschild and the Queen of England and David Rockefeller want. These are the people that have got to be stopped if we've got any future. Henry Paulson, Ted Turner, David Rockefeller, Queen Elizabeth, her sons, her husband. You can't photograph royalty worldwide, but you can photograph anybody else in public, but not royalty, because they're the bastards that own Dutch Rothschild, BP. They own the banks. I'm just sick of it. I've been put in a jail cell by this piece of trash who thinks I'm her slave. Listen to me, Queen Beatrix. You don't own me, eugenicist. Your Nazi father that set up the World Wildlife Fund and was a top Nazi and wants to fund eugenics. I'm sick of you. Just at a fundamental level, I am not this piece of trash's slave. You can't photograph the god. She doesn't even wipe her own hind end. She goes up on a throne and craps. I don't want to get into more detail, but then they pick with their bare hands with respect. We have a name for it around here when one uses it's Queen Elizabeth II due to the and every jar of urine, it's not put into water. That would defile it. Is stored, and all of the royalty stool going back over 500 years is stored. So this disgusting bucket of pus, this maggot-ridden Nazi piece of filth, gets up there every day, and people wipe her disgusting hind end. I mean, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Well, their pus was so holy that came out of their festering wounds, it had to be sucked. Oh, there they are. There's the demonic. There is the top Nazi in the world, the Queen, with the second Nazi, Prince Philip, who just literally raves and hates black. Shoo, little black man, shoo. Groom my stool. Groom it, oh, yes. Wipe 5 times. It'll get better. You wretched knave. He literally starts bossing him. Turn around, filth. No, God, you piece of trash. Oh, God. I mean, I'm sorry, it's too ridiculous. I can't handle it anymore. Arrest them all. Arrest her. Arrest them. Arrest the criminals. You know, I really hate Queen Elizabeth II. Oh, but the Queen doesn't have any power. No. You know, they just literally own half the planet. And meanwhile, there's some old woman dressed up with a crown on her head with a dirty look on her face with some monkey-looking crazy Nazi husband who looks like a spoiled 12-year-old Ritalin head. And it's like, oh, how wonderful. Oh, it's disgusting. Some murderous mafia chief who breeds all these little Nazi children up there perching on top of us with her pot belly, and we're all running around worshiping her. It's so anti-American, so anti-freedom, it makes me literally nauseous to look at that crone. It's disgusting. And she's got all these PR firms out there to sell you how good she is. And I've got to look at this monkey in a royal outfit with diamonds all over. I mean, it's an old gorilla, an albino gorilla. These people are so stupid. These elitists have all these smart people working for them that uphold the whole system. But these bumbling idiots don't even know how to wipe their own behinds, literally. We're not trying to be a comedy. It's just reality. Now, they teach everybody the Queen has no power. I've done the research. This woman owns and controls more than 40 countries. And it's not ceremonial. She got the power. It's the parliament that's ceremonial. See, we are owned by her and her cousin, Queen Beatrix. They've taken us over through fraud. Realize it. If you don't face it, we can't stop it. And her crown, her symbols are all over the highways in Canada, England. I've been to England. They shut down whole areas of London every day and major roads, saying the Queen has decided to shut down the roads today. The Queen has decided no outdoor advertising in England because she doesn't like looking at it. But then you're taught, oh, they're cute, they're funny. You know who's always run the world opium monopoly? That's the Queen. And that's mainline history. They run the smack. I mean, they need that smack, man. They need that money. You can go read the minutes of it where the Queen of England takes over any country she wants. We hear Prince Harry's the #1 terror target in Europe. Oh, what a good little young hero. He's got al-Queda after him. They run almost everything. Charles spoke after arriving at the Manchester by royal train, pulled by a coal-fired steam locomotive. One trip of the train cost more than £1 million. Charles spoke after arriving in Manchester. My royal train, pulled by coal-fired steam locomotive. Oh, dreadful! The plants will love the carbon dioxide that spews from the maw of the train. He continued, if the change is a myth, why are the sea levels at more than 6 inches? Sorry, Charles, people aren't listening to you anymore, and your eugenicist father. Did you know the Emperor of Japan bows I've seen it on television, goes to events every decade or so at the Tower of London to give fealty to the Queen as the head of all royalty worldwide? Because if you don't, she'll overthrow your country and kill you. Totally insane. So it's this power trip of digging through everything. It's this power trip of watching and minding everyone. But if you ever say, hey, do you want to mind the government like the founders said? You want to watch them? Oh, my gosh, I was warned about you. You're the bad one. And that's why when a cop pulls me over, when all the major laws are ignored, the government's caught engaged in every crime you can imagine constantly, and the guy wants to give me a ticket for too dark a window tint, I'm just like, I want to search your car. You want to search mine? I want to search your car. Statistically, if you take criminology, you know statistically cops are more criminal than the average public. I want to search your car. And the guy's like, well, what, are you serious? And I'm like, no, I'm not serious. I'm sick of it. The guy's like, well, aren't you intimidated by me, basically? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm sick of it. Well, he still wanted to play the game. Well, what's in that drink? And I go, I don't know. It's a green bottle that says water on it. You ever seen a beer bottle has this shape? Well, where do you get them? You get them at the gas station. That's where you get them. You get them at the gas station. Like when I sit here and answer your questions in your mind, I'm the criminal and you're the good guy. I don't ship drugs into this country like your bosses do. I mean, this went on for like 10 minutes. Because I can't play games with these people anymore. I can't play along with it. And I didn't tell what I did to the woman because it was a little mean. But it wasn't that mean. I was very calmly said, but it was meant to make her feel bad about herself. And I don't like to put people straight that way, and I do bad things sometimes. You'd hear what I said to the woman at the YMCA, and you'd think, well, that's nothing. Yeah, but it was how it was said. The way I said it was meant to make her feel small. And that's not the type of attack I like to do on people. I like to somehow try to enlighten them and wake them up. But I am an out-of-control person. You know, I tell people when they're getting off on police state stuff, I say, hey, you think this police state's going to keep you safe? It's going to destroy you and your family. And when the government takes everything you've got, just remember, you put the rope around your own neck. I mean, I didn't tell that woman that. I did tell a whole store in New Mexico that. Lance and do all this. Hey, I don't want to be a slave. Shut up. It doesn't exist, dangerous person. Did you cause the Gifford shooting? Are you some type of violent person? Thank goodness we've got Cass Sunstein going after you. Maybe you should be arrested. Just open tyrants, a bunch of weak pansies jumping around like fairies, telling me how I'm their slave. No, you little piece of trash. I'm not your slave. I'm red-blooded. I got a big heart pumping blood. They don't care if there's hundreds of reactors built 40 years ago rotting and releasing radioactive gas. The elites just are crazy. They just don't care anymore. They've got a total laissez-faire attitude, and they're just partying and mistresses and snuff films and whatever they're into, and they don't care. Might as well have the devil driving a runaway train. I mean, that's basically what it is. And all the average feds care about is dressing up in black uniforms and having mustaches and staring at people. They've all got mustaches, and they bug their eyes out at you and think they scare you. And you just look like an absolute clown freak that works for murdering terrorists that jack our food and water. I think you're a big joke. That's what I think you are, murdering scum. And those of you that serve the system are murdering scum. All of you. You're all aid and abet murdering scum that says they'll secretly arrest citizens in army bases all over the world, raping children with battery acid, Army's own report. You support raping children with battery acid, with giant objects. That's in the Army report. If you don't speak out against it, if you don't go out against it, if you don't stand up against it, you support it. You support it. You support it. You are now child killers, child torturers. You are now aiding and abetting it. You are literally going to hell in a handbasket. Repent now. Repent now. I know your mustache is cool. You got little gold frame glasses. You scare me so bad. Oh, you scum. Scum.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. Oh, it makes me sick, and I'm going to have to watch them when they blow up some federal buildings, prance around the very murderers as my savior, and all the cowards out there begging the government to give them proctology exams on the side of the highway. What's driving me crazy is that photo right there. Zoom in on that. It's one of those cops in a black uniform with a mustache. You know that guy's a coward. You know he's a piece of garbage. You know he's weak. Oh, he'd love it. Those are the type of people that go to the cops in Oklahoma and say, "We'll kill your wives if you expose we did this." And the cops all just roll over to it. "Oh, you got a mustache. I'll just worship you. As long as you got a mustache, it's okay." Oh, your demonic little mustaches. Nothing against mustaches, just all these cops are little homoerotic gang of mustaches. All right, let's go ahead and go to, Sean in Maine. There isn't no radio network running to lay on me, folks. This is all real and live. I'm red-blooded and I hate murderers. All right. What's that word? Sean in Maine, go ahead. Shane!
Hi, how you doing?
I'm sick of it! Murdering terrorists are everywhere! I want them out of my life!
I'm kind of sick of it, too. I'm a recent Glenn Beck convert. I enrolled in your prison war and dumped Beck and the other corporate heads behind. And I kind of had two quick questions for you.
And consolidate even more power. Oh.
So then do you feel that even if we would manage to push back the technocrat-equipped brown shirts, that the UN would just swoop in and there's just really not much hope of fighting this back?
Well, just know this. It's public plan now to use UN forces and Mexican and Canadian troops during, quote, battles with extremists. And I don't know if it's going to come to that, but I mean, the bankers aren't going to stop. They're going to keep bankrupting everything, shutting everything down, paying companies to leave, hiring more people, telling them grow mustaches so they can act tough. I mean, it's just an army of people in black uniforms with mustaches waddling around fighting imaginary terrorists while their bosses are jacking their water with sodium fluoride and their food with bisphenol A, and they don't care because they get to have mustaches. We should understand this is all about wearing mustaches and acting tough. I mean, it's literally a big joke. It's like a 5-year-old dressing up in an army outfit. These are children. And I'm just sick of watching how ridiculous it is. Arresting 5-year-olds for jogging. Charging people with truancy when they're not even up to the statutory number. It's illegal. Shooting our kids up with vaccines without parental consent. 9-year-olds getting abortions without their parents' consent. It's a bunch of lawless scum. I mean, DynCorp and Halliburton have been caught running child kidnapping rings. And I gotta watch people in little black uniforms with little machine guns trying to intimidate us, telling me how they're doing it to keep me safe. Bull, pal, your boss has carried out 9/11. Your boss has carried out Oklahoma City. And I see you. I see through it. I know what's going on. And I've had enough. I've had enough of all of it. I've had enough of it. And I'm sick of it. I want people to wake up right now. I want people to listen to me and just come out of your trance. It's normal when you wake up with a bunch of crazy terrorists, jacking the food and water, running everything, and telling me I'm the terrorist because I know they're the terrorist. I mean, come on, it's too ridiculous. Groping Miss USA. Come on, it's not America. It's not the Soviet Union. North Korea isn't this bad in many levels. And you're like, well, we still got free speech. We still got this and that. Yeah, they're phasing all that out right now while building up these giant armies against the American people. You know I don't use profanity because I have a wide vocabulary and don't need it. Bullshit. Go to hell. Make me sick. No, you can't, scum. Shove it in a pipe and shove it in there good and smoke it. Developed by the Pentagon to kill you and your family. I am a Easter Bunny jet pilot from the planet Uranus. Bullshit. It's all theater, ladies and gentlemen. You know how creepy it is to know I'm right? I see. I got the sunglasses, pal. Nauseous smell of burning flesh. Mentally ill. It's pathetic. You criminal scum. You filthy, degenerate scumbag. You are assaulting me. I know what's going on. This This is normal. I am primitive. I am angry. I am violent. We are involved as men. Just cracking your brains out. Oh, you didn't know about that? Raping your daughter. They want you in the ditch. You do what we say or die. It's all theater, ladies and gentlemen. Just like the feds sent advisors into Illinois and to the state, and they all went down last year in that case where the guy filmed cops towing his cars away and stuff, Mr. Allison, and they actually put briefs in and said, we want him to serve life in prison, yes. And the judge went, you know what, I'm going to dismiss this. But if he wouldn't have dismissed it, that state jury, that they think it's good to put somebody in prison. They go in there and they get off on it, and the cops come in and pat it, and the prosecutor pats them on the head, and they go, who do we screw up in prison? And they're like, don't worry, we're going to put some innocent people in there. And they all get real excited. You think I'm joking? I remember when a listener called me, and we're going to Mr. Notehouse, then your calls, Kelly Rushing in Lyon County, Kentucky. This is about 8 years ago now. And he said, Mr. Jones, I'll send you the newspaper clipping. I'm facing 3 counts, 3 years apiece of terroristic threats. I gave a state police officer road to tyranny. They're charging me for that, but also the Ron Paul speech on there. I put that on. I'm charged with both. And so he faxed me and then mailed me the newspaper, and I saw the judge. I called the judge at home. Back then I was naive 8 years ago. I thought, come on. So I get the judge on the phone, and I go, well, I'm not going to get too much into the case, but the newspaper, you're really you're actually not mistrialing somebody facing 9 years in jail for giving a cop a video? And he said, I'm not going to talk to you about it, but yes, it's going to court. So then they had the hearing, and the cop comes in and says, he gave me that video, and it's anti-government. And the judge says, we find that threatening. You will convict, and the jury didn't. And it was in the news. But they actually wanted to put him in jail for going, officer. In fact, the cop even testified, this is important for your future and your family's future. And they said that was a threat, mentioning family. But yes, and they all sat there with a straight face. I mean, these are kook, cult, demons, hardcore evil. I mean, these people are flaming scum. I mean, just wild, crazy, dangerous people. Just like the Nazis, the Soviets, all of them. Pol Pot killing 31% of Cambodia, murdering anybody that could read or write or wear glasses. You're like, why'd he do that? Because he's a flaming loon. They like it. You like water skiing, enchiladas, hanging out with your family, mountain biking. They like black uniforms and torturing children. They do it all over the world. Yesterday, I'm shooting the nightly news right before it airs, and one of my IT people, one of my 6 IT people, comes in and says, the FBI wants to meet with me tomorrow. And I said, what about? And he said, well, you know, before I worked here a year ago, you know, because I did the interviews, I was doing, because we hired somebody who already had a job because we were paying more, who builds websites for the biggest bar owners in Austin. And he does great work. So I said, yeah, build websites, do code for us. I hire him. He comes in, and I said, okay, well, you can either get a lawyer and refuse to go, or you can go and just see. But I'm going to imagine it's going to turn into an Alex Jones discussion, not bars and people I've never met. And I said, at that point, if they start telling you you're a criminal with something made up, I said, the issue is anything you say that's even halfway wrong, they've got unconstitutional laws where they say, oh, lying to the FBI, kind of like filming police, they put you in prison for life now in Illinois. The law doesn't even say that. They got juries that'll do it. I mean, half the country's zombies. So I explained to him, I said, you do what you want, but when I come into the conversation, it's going to be a news item. I said, don't bring me up. You may get FBI people that aren't criminals because they got compartmentalized ones that do, you know, the local drug stuff, the local bank robberies, kidnapping, stuff like that. But I said, if I come up, obviously I'm going to talk about it. Well, he met with them this morning, and about a third of the discussion is about Alex Jones and how they listen every day and want me to know they listen. Oh, gee, you didn't think I didn't know you listen? Like I don't know what I'm dealing with? Like I haven't had special forces jump out of the bushes and set fires and try to blame it on me in Florida? Like I haven't had probably 30 times police try to get me to talk about attacking other police so you can put me in prison? Like I haven't had Marine Corps officers in plain clothes try to get me to attack the State Department with them when I'm covering Bilderberg? Get this through your fat brains. I am an American patriot. I am the good guy. I am as pure as the driven snow. I'm not doing anything, even under your criminal system, that's a fraud, illegal. Get that through your head. They get some idiot on my website threatening a cop, the one that shot the black guy in the back and said he had attacked him. The guy was in handcuffs on the ground. Cop executed him in a fit of bloodthirst. Now convicted, spent, what, 1 year in jail, already out? Some idiot post that. Our moderators take it down, as they do everything calling for any type of criminality. The FBI calls me up and says, we want you to put that back up. And I said, no. Go ahead and make up whatever crud you want. I'm not going to put something up with a cop's home address saying go after him. And I said, if you got your subpoena, come get it. And they said, we're coming with a subpoena. I said, good. Bring your subpoena. Then they start calling around the office. They weren't asking here when they were calling random numbers of my crew. The FBI from California was not calling, asking about the guy's thing about, go to the cop's house, here it is, and get him. No, they were asking about the Obama deception a week before it came out. This is what they are, little commissar officers, little political officers who want to intimidate my First Amendment. Hey, move to North Korea. So they go on and say, yeah, we listen every day. We listen all the time. We want Alex to know that, and we want him to not talk bad about us today. What in Hades is that? You want to try to creep me out? Which you've done the opposite. I just got about 5 months of energy off this. And then, and of course, then it turns into, and why am I talking about this on air now? The FBI shows up here last time about the subpoena and wants to know why we have posters of Obama up on the wall. And I said, well, number one, how do you like your narcotics trafficking buddies? Hey, you know, your FBI buddies killed that cop and the doctor and others, Terrence Yakey, up there at Oklahoma City. You know, would you like the police officers' names I've talked to where the FBI came in their office and said, if you investigate the bombs in the building, you and your wife are dead? And the FBI guys are like, and the Austin cop that was with them is like, okay, we don't want to discuss this anymore. I'm like, oh, it isn't time to scare me anymore. I want to know if you're with the people that kill cops. They were basically scurrying out of here when they were done. I don't care what you do to me, okay? You understand that? I'm not a coward like you. I've committed to this fight. I know I'm right. And your crud with my employee only confirms it all. And maybe you're so deep into intimidating people that you just think it was cute and funny that you like the show and you listen every day. And you really listen every day and don't say bad things about us. Maybe you want me to talk about you on air. And then you sit there and say, don't give Alex this Austin detective's number. Like I want to have a detective's number. I got the police chief's home number and cell phone in there. Like I want to call. The Austin police chief's asked me out for dinner to drink a beer. I don't have time to do it. I'm too busy looking at photos of 1-year-old babies they're killing in China. I'm too busy breaking reports how the U.S. government plans to start killing kids up to age 3. Why don't you investigate some real crime? I get mad because my life has been stolen from me. You think it's fun to deal with a criminal government? You think I don't know? You think I haven't been punched in the nose? and kicked in the side by kickboxers and told to shut up about Walter Smith, Judge Walter Smith, and his trial, his kangaroo civil trial with the Davidians? Just because I went up and bullhorned a judge, 4 people come in to beat my head in? I already know about the New World Order, buddy boy. If you think you're going to intimidate me, you better check again, because you got the wrong person. Anyways, then they start telling my employee he's a criminal and done things wrong on just, not even something with the case with the place where he webmastered and all that, just some nothingness that wasn't even anything. It was some domestic dispute with one of his friends and you know, trying to defuse it. And they want him to go report on himself to the Austin police so they can turn him and say, you're going to go to jail if you don't go plant something in Alex Jones's office. They didn't tell him that, but I know that's next. And you're on record, okay? And I've got lawyers out of state with money waiting to sue you personally if you try to set me up. You got it? I got your number. I see right into you. Do you understand? Number 4, the United States is tied with the UK for the most hours of television watched per person each week. And that gets into the brainwaves lowering while you're watching television, then generally being in a lowered state, closer to sleepwalking types. Not even the deep sleep state that is connected to higher brainwave levels. Some of the highest, it's that near sleep level where the brainwaves are very low and associated with very low cognitive ability. It is all of this. You can pull up charts that university studies have tracked, and there's literally been scores of studies on it, that since television became popularized in Europe and the United States in the 50s, in a direct line with television, obesity, lower IQs, lower test scores, crime, violence, breakup of families, the end of the neighborhood barbecues, the end of, I mean, you drive through neighborhoods now, and it's nothing but glowing blue lights. Like I was reading an article about this a few years ago about, it was popular in the 50s and 60s in New York to have a telescope in your window and to people watch, people eating dinner, people arguing, people doing other things. And now, a few years ago, I was up in a buddy's high-rise here in Austin at a party, and I said, oh, you got a telescope? I bet it's neat, to people watch. And he said, no. He said, all you see is the blue glow. He goes, look, turn the lights off. They flipped the lights off. I looked out at the other big condos, and it was nothing but glowing blue, just glowing blue. Not talking to their husbands, not talking to their wives, not playing board games with their children, not painting, watching television, You drive through the neighborhoods, just glowing blue, glowing blue, glowing blue. And now people don't have language. They just have little abbreviated things they send in text. I sit there in restaurants and watch children that look like pale little mongoloids, unfortunately, who aren't mongoloids, texting and playing their video games, and the parents are doing the same thing, and no one's communicating. I mean, this is a full-out assault. So it is directly not just that television overall, the visual media is not challenging to the brain because it is there for the brain to see and actually programs the brain to not be able to conjure up its own images with ideas, but to expect things to just be provided that way. And again, it doesn't just lower the brain waves, it destroys cognitive ability to where people just expect to be shown things. And that's why the studies are out. We talk a lot about that reading and radio are incredibly good for the brain. Because when you hear me say AK-47, your mind will conjure up an image of a Kalashnikov, an AK-47, Kalashnikov 47. If I say Barack Obama, it will conjure up the way Barack Obama looks, a whole history of Barack Obama, a whole gestalt of his speech patterns, everything. That is challenging to the brain. That makes more connections. If I say cyclotron, if I say heavy water reactor, if you know what those are, you're now imaging them. If I say basic unified field theory equation. If you're a mathematician or into quantum mechanics, you are now imaging those equations in a 3D overlay in your mind. That is challenging. That is developing the mind. It is not developing the mind. Now you notice I'm doing the only thing on television that can make television good, and that's what my films really are. I call them film books. That's what my shows are. That's why I make it interactive. Let's search engine this term. That means you go search engine, and now it's interactive, and so it's not as damaging. It can actually be helpful. Or I say red bicycle. I'm not showing. You notice the globalists will show you an image of a red bicycle. They won't say red bicycle. That would be from the master programmer something helping you. But when I say 8,000-year-old spearhead, you're now envisioning every calculation and image you've got of a spearhead. You're envisioning what 8,000 years ago was like. So television and the way it's been programmed is the main author of our societal degeneration. And it's not just, this wasn't done by accident. Edward Bernays, all the big propagandists on record, openly wrote books and publicly called you scum and how they were going to get you and how they were going to destroy the family and and how much fun it all is. And so if you'll just go read them talking about their war against you, then you'll know I'm not just telling you this. See, trust but verify. I beg of you, listen to me and check out what I'm telling you. If I tell you cancer's doubled, search it. If I tell you diabetes has doubled the last 10 years, search it. If I tell you antidepressants in all species, whether they're insect or whether they are fish or crustacean or mammal, massive IQ reductions, massive fertility reductions. If I tell you bisphenol A, go look it up, find it. You are under unmitigated, total and complete assault by a bunch of people who can only get away with it if you are not aware.
Commanders kiss the butt of all the little cops, and then they all feed on each other and their hatred and disdain for the public, especially in Miami. It was a lot. I mean, a federal judge was out there at a previous event in Miami going to their car, and the cops cornered him and beat him down, and they lost a big suit over that because they didn't know. They thought they were going to have a little fun on a side street with a judge and went to, just beat the person almost to death. And they got in a lot of trouble for that, but that was because that was a real citizen, a God-level person, above them in the government, not a slave scum that's, just here to be stomped on. And so that's why when I'm driving down the road and there's lanes on both sides of me, Austin cop, no lights on, just run right up behind you with pleasure. Just get and then swing around and almost hit you. And then just sit there with a light in your face going, you son of a bitch, citizen, you are slave, civilian, I rule you. And if I want to shoot you in the face with rubber bullets, that girl at the Red Sox game came out of a bar. They shot her in the face 10 feet away, blew her eyeball back in her brain. She bled to death. The cops went on the news and said she shouldn't have been out there. Death, death, death. Hey, don't worry. The bankers are going to take everything you got, cops. You think you can just deal death on us and deal pain on us? You don't think there aren't bigger devils above you in the New World Order that'll have their way with you? You think you're safe from evil? We have liberty and freedom, and look at that famous photo. That was in Oregon. That woman, they said no protest. She was peaceful with a sign, and there's video of that on the web, and they just start choking her till she passes out. Just men in black uniforms grabbing a 55-year-old, woman, just choking her. You're going to learn who we are. You're going to learn to submit. The foreign bankers have given us unlimited power, and we're going to rule you. This is our country. You're here. We're going to feed on your ass. And the cops just drink fluoride water. Oh, they take their kids and just shoot them up with mercury, and the kids become autistic. The cops don't care. I'm going to the tech bar. I don't care if my kid's brain damaged. And they drink whiskey and wreck and kill everybody in Austin. And then when they wreck and kill themselves, the cops then go and SWAT team the bar owners that sold them too much whiskey. It's your fault you sold too much whiskey to a god. You don't sell too much whiskey to a god. We're God. You understand? We rule America. We'll shoot you in the face, we'll bloody your face, and we'll laugh about it because we're weak gang members. You look at those men. Go back to the video of the cops laughing. Look how soft they are. Look how their eyes don't have any electric liberty in them. Look at how soft they are. Look at how disgusting they are. And you can see a few of the cops in there are looking like they're not having fun. And if you look at their faces, they look human. They look like they still have a soul. Back it up to them laughing. Hit her in the face!
Now her case is back in the news because of this.
The good news about being able to watch you guys live on TV is that lady with the red dress.
A police video shot after the shooting incident, just released following a review of excessive force complaints at the protest.
Hit pause. Hit pause. That one's soft right there. That guy joined the force because I guarantee you he's the type of guy that bullied kids that were smaller than him. Then those kids grew up and kicked his ass. I know those types. I've seen that face. And now they love it. They can abuse and beat up everybody and nobody can stop them. Nobody can stop them. They're having their way with America. They want our guns. And if you're not with them, cops and military, then you will declare that you're with the Republic now. And don't tell me that I'm a weirdo because I'm upset about this, and I should only go get upset about my favorite football team winning or losing. Listen, I know what tyranny means. I know the bankers are putting poison in our food and water. I know the bankers have stolen $8.5 trillion. I know we're under War Powers Act. I know they're hurting us. I know they're carrying out New World Order. I know they staged those terror attacks. You know what it's like to gut up to this and go out every day and go past the peer pressure and come out day one and say 9/11 was an inside job and lose most of the radio stations I was on. You know what it's like to go to sleep every night knowing you work for a bunch of psychotic killers and you bastards are probably going to end up killing me one day. You know what it's like knowing you've ruined my life. You know what it's like, you sons of bitches. I'm tired of your crap. You commit evil, you're part of an evil system, and we're standing up against you. And the Republic is going to defeat you in the end. Some of us won't make it personally through this, but a lot of us are. And in the end, you are going to be brought to justice for all the kids you kidnapped for CPS, all you CPS workers, all you corrupt bureaucrats, all of you that have had your way with innocent children over and over again, who think your evil's invincible. You're not invincible, and God is going to deal with you. And you are cursed to hell. I'm done. I got to get out of here. I'm pissed off now. Robert Wannick, you can make some closing comments. I'll give you the last 2 minutes. We're going to end transmission. Make sure the guy's got your address so I can send you those videos so you can resist tyranny. I salute you.